All right, here we go with day 24. Well, today I kind of didn't do it the way I normally do it. I had to work today, so I ran out of time before I went to work. I did my meditation, but I wasn't able to film a video because I had to leave to go to work. So this one will be a little bit different, at least the vibe, a little more wore out, tired, energy's not there as much as when the meditations are doing it, but I was able to think of some things throughout the day to kind of think to talk about because I always talk about like all the work and doing the actions and all that stuff. So I thought I'd explain a little bit more about what that's about, like EFT, emotional freedom tapping, NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and meditation. So when you're thinking of the unconscious mind, a lot of the times the unconscious mind we ain't conscious of it. So sometimes we act in certain ways, or some things trigger us because of the way that our unconscious minds have been conditioned throughout our life. So, like stuff from childhood, the way we were treated, the experiences we had when we didn't know how to deal with them or how to process them in the correct way or in a better way. We only did the best we could in those moments when we were younger. And sometimes, there's defense mechanisms put up. Sometimes we just, bury it or don't want to relive it or don't want anything to do with it because it was painful or hurtful and made us feel bad. So we just kind of pushed it, down deep and didn't really deal with it in the proper ways at the time, which is understandable. We were younger, at least me too. I do it too. Everybody does it, I think, at some point, at some level in their lives, I would say. But, it, you know, uh, and I would say meditation, NLP, and EFT kind of bridge that gap between the, conscious mind, me speaking right now, and the unconscious mind, the program mind. Like Wayne Dyer always used the example of he had Morse code from when he was in the military, and so he, conditioned himself to learn Morse code. So without him even thinking that his mind is conditioned, so his unconscious mind has all that programmed into it. So then whenever he needs it, it's just there, that's fine because he needed it to do whatever he needed to do in the military. But what if we have some unconscious bad programs that we still behave from? We still have a defense mechanism. We still get triggered. And it still affects us to this day. And sometimes it stops us from doing everything because it creates fear in us. So, um, but we sometimes we don't even really know that what's going on. So sometimes it can be bad. And the other thing is, I'm sure anyone that's driven has had the same thing, where all of a sudden your conscious mind is deep in thought, and then all of a sudden you come to and you're like, wow, how did I just drive, the last few minutes? Because I was thinking you weren't even really paying attention to what was going on, but your unconscious mind knows how to drive, so it was paying attention to the road while your conscious mind was deep in thought. So again, another good example. So I guess like I would say like doing the meditations kind of helps bring that to the surface. Like almost like, you have that pond and you're on the surface of normalness, like, waking state, like with the state we're in now, or consciousness, and we're not really thinking about the stuff that's down at the bottom of the pond. And some of these things are the ways to get to the bottom of the pond, like the emotional freedom tapping is tapping on all the, like, what are those, man, what's that called, acupuncture points, kind of like trigger points. Like there's points where it kind of like helps reprogram your nervous system. And while you're doing that and touching these points and focusing in on what it is that you want to overcome, like anxiety or whatever, then maybe, like, at least when I started doing it, like they would say journal when you're done and see what comes up. There is no right or wrong answers, just journal whatever comes up. And sometimes like after I was done doing it, I would like start journaling, and then all of a sudden I'd like have a flashback to when I was like younger, and I'd be like, wow, I never, I don't remember any off the top of my head right now, but then I would like have a memory, and then it would like, whoa. And then I thought, yeah, that's probably why this bothers me. And then I would like journal it down and write it down. And then now that I was conscious of it, because it like the EFT released it from my unconscious mind and brought it to my conscious mind, I was able to journal about it, write about it, and then let it go. And then after that, I just kind of uh, didn't behave in the same way if this scenario came up again. So I feel like sometimes like that stuck energy inside of us, or those stuck memories in the unconscious mind, will stop me from getting on here and doing this. And it could stop a lot of things in life because you're having a bad memory, or just a bad day or a bad experience, and you relive it and you don't even realize that's why you're like so turned off by it. So again, it's like the shovel to get to that deep stuff that you buried. And like I always talk about with the onion, yeah, like you got to peel off those layers and have those memories come to the surface. And that's where I feel like meditation is too, because meditation gets through that. Because I feel like our ego it's like I got a picture somewhere, I'll find it, where it shows like it's like the layers of life. It's like some Hindu thing, and it shows like how it goes, and then it shows like all that stuff in the unconscious minds down here, but our intellect, our intellect, ego, and mind all stop it from getting here. And what meditation does and what EFT and NLP does is kind of like put this thing to bed, and then helps us sneak past it and get to the deeper levels of our soul, or deeper levels of our unconscious mind. And then that way the memories can bubble up, and then we can kind of just let them go. And Dr. Simon, one of the founders of the Chopra Center, said you don't have to relive it. That's kind of what that energy is sometimes, that I've said before. When you're just off for a few days, you're releasing all that energy from your unconscious, mind, or somewhere in your body. Our bodies are more intelligent and hold more than we even know. It's just that in Western society, we're not taught that. It's all physical, where really we need the West or the East too. Yeah, we're the West. We need the Eastern philosophies too to become a complete human being. Like I feel like in the West we only get half the story, and we need the whole story to be able to become a whole human being. And I feel like some of these like alternative therapies are like almost beneficial than some of the regular therapies. And it's a shame that most people don't have access to them, because you got to pay for them out of your pocket. They should be covered by insurance, but that's a whole nother video that I'm not really going to go into. But I feel like the beneficial ones aren't covered. But anyway, but I feel like they're way more they help. I know that when I started doing EFT and NLP and meditation, it's totally transformed my life. I would have never got on here before and did all this stuff. But now I feel like it's so important that I want to get this information out to people to show what it's done in my life, and show that anybody can do it. You just got to be willing to kind of take the time to do all this stuff. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. Unconscious mind service. Yep. So again, it's a process though, and you need to just do it and see what happens, because obviously everybody's experiences are going to be different. Everybody's had a different life. So I can't tell you what's going to happen to you. You got to figure that out for yourself. But I mean, sometimes it's painful, and it's not, and you just feel off. But after a while, you just feel better. I mean, there's days where I'm just like, I feel like I can run through a wall some days, and some days I just want to. Some days I'm just off. Like today, I'm kind of a little tired. I'm a little off. But again, I'm still here trying to get this done no matter what, because it just has to be. It just has to get done. And that's the thing, is that like I got so used to meditating that it just like I even when I don't want to do it, I just say I got to do it. I have to sit there and do it. And people will say, well, you don't have to do it. Well, okay, I still want to do it too. But I feel like I got such a pattern going that it's so beneficial. Like if I don't do my morning meditation, I just feel off a little bit. Because I'm so used to having that peace and that relaxation and that settling down of the energy in your body. It helps your mind relax, and it refocuses your brain. Like, I mean, it just helps. It helps slow everything down, and it helps. You get the alpha patterns going, and it just. I know I can tell when I first started meditating, it was hard, but like you can tell when you make the shift. Like all of a sudden, after you shift from beta to alpha, you just feel like a calmness come over your body. It's just that sometimes it takes a time, and I know when I first started trying it, I couldn't get to that point because my mind would be so active and my body be did not want to settle down, so it would like make me, not do it. So, but it's just you got to keep practicing with anything. You're not going to be able to bench 500 pounds overnight. You got to keep lifting weights. You got to any little thing to get good at it. You got to do a little bit by little bit by little bit and keep going and you keep practicing, and then you get better at it. And then like I think Jim Rohn says, repetition is the mother of mastery. So again, I feel like it's very beneficial to do these things to try to, get past that ego, mind, and intellect and get to the deeper levels of your soul and your mind and some of the memories and some of the energy that may be stuck in there and all that stuff that helps, release it and get it out of there. And then you feel freer. You just feel better. You're more relieved. I mean, I believe it's an ongoing process and you got to keep going, but I feel like the more you shovel off, the more you do it, the more uh, create a practice, the easier things get, and journal your experiences and see what happens. So yeah, I guess that's my message for the day. I wanted to share a little bit more about all the stuff I've been talking about and kind of a little bit about how it goes. I mean, at some point I'll teach a little bit more about it, but that's just the beginning to get everybody kind of a little bit into it. So if you, again, like I should be saying after every video, like and subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do because I feel like this information is beneficial, and I want everything to keep growing so I can help more people and help more people realize that we're more in control than we believe, and there are ways to get past things and get rid of some of the negative energy that's inside, maybe trapped inside the body. Bye.